Oh, speaking of stands, actually, I know you saw it.
I didn't.
You didn't.
No, I've had a busy week where I did not get to watch this week's JoJo.
It's
I heard it's 30 seconds.
It's 32 seconds.
Good. That's about 7 pages, except not.
And
7 pages are 12 pages should definitely be a lot longer than that. But
so 3 pages for Steely Dan was 14 seconds, and double that, which would be 28.
Yep,
plus a little. So you know what? According to the anime rules, it's pretty on point. Once again, hilariously, language is genetic. And big kudos to Jojo's voice actor for doing a really hard job with that performance.
Cool. Okay.
There are some real long takes in that thing.
Okay.
That I definitely know I don't have the lung capacity or vocal skill to do.
Awesome. I have high hopes because it's the coolest part of part 5.
Yeah.
It's literally the one highlight thing that
people were telling me, because I can't read Japanese, so I'll have to take their word for it. Yeah. That in the credits.
Oh my god. Dude, I watch it with my girl when she has time, we'll watch it together. Yeah. That's why I have it's not just my schedule.
That in the credits it is shown that it was in fact a completely different animation team called the Muda team.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool. That's wild.
Because you look at it and just about as much money went into this 32-second clip
than the rest of the episode.
The whole rest of the episode.
Yeah. Okay. It's the part. It's the thing. It's the part 5 thing.
Yeah.
And I have no problem telling anybody that it is downhill from here.
Yeah.
If you don't know what happens in the future of JoJo and this is all new to you while you're watching the show week to week, this is the highlight, and then you're just gonna ride it out from here.
Yeah. That dude's a jerk.
Yeah.
He's a jerk.
Established. Yeah, I'll get to it when we get a chance.
Well, that's pretty much it for me. If you want to check out my stuff that I do during the week, I'll be doing Yakuza, Plague Tale, and Hat in Time this week. That's over at twitch.tv/angriestpat.
No, it's not. No, I think it's the coolest thing in part 5. You can disagree with me. That's fine. I don't think anything that happens after this point surpasses that point. I think there's 2 other really awesome things that occur, but I don't think they actually surpass that the Punch Fest. I'll debate that. I don't care. You can disagree.
I think most of the people going, what the hell, I think you're talking about JoJo in general, not just part 5.
Oh, well then they're just not listening properly.
I know. That's how it is.
That is how it is.
People don't listen.
So.
Oh, hey, play FF14. It's a good game. You can ask me for tips on Twitter. It's at angriestpat as well.
Yeah, I feel like I've repeated till I'm blue in the face that Steel Ball Run is the greatest thing.
You have.
So, what? Anyway, a lot of people. Hey, speaking of things. So, I mean, can we talk about the Trader's Requiem?
Yeah.
The Uragiri Mono.
Is he speaking Italian?
Yes.
Okay.
So, we're going to talk about the current JoJo, the current part 5. But the one thing I kind of forgot, I actually forgot about the intro updates because it's been so mild overall this time around. Mm-hmm. And I feel as well like they kind of overdid themselves with Great Days. Right? They really blew it out of the water.
The whole intro got chopped and screwed and remixed.
Well, it's not just that. It's not just how much it got remixed. It's literally that every shot of Great Days has an implication or a meaning or something else going on in reference to the story. And with part 5, they calmed that down a lot.
Yeah.
They just went for visual cools.
Yeah.
And like,
hey,
there's a little something for you if you're looking for it.
You see Bruno? Bruno's pretty hot, huh? Like, that's what the intro says to me.
There's little hints of like, oh, there it is, but there's
a little blood drippy thing.
But for the most part, you're like, yeah, you're just kind of seeing cool stuff happen. But when they finally, they went like, hey, let's update things a little bit and do our intro remix, which we usually do. I like that they revisited End of the World.
Yeah,
because it's definitely meant to be almost exactly the same. Well,
there's
type
parallels
of
in the episode with the staircase.
Yes.
And it's like, this is very intentional.
I mean, even the name, right? Yeah. You know,
and it's intentional that this person is dealing with this,
of course,
archetype.
So,
and so on. And so
it's
forth.
interesting, and like I really dig what I didn't expect to. So the whole time I was talking about like I want to see when King Crimson drops, I want a nice sound effect. Make up for like the Dio clock slow. Tick 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 tick. Right? And Bites the Dust definitely had some cool shit. But I wanted something really distinct here, and they started using it. There's a little ring, right? A little high-pitched ding noise. But what they did really finally reveal is we're going to have a visual to go along with it.
Yeah, it looks like a VHS, like, scratch.
No.
No.
When you're inside of it.
Oh, that. Oh, right? That. Yes.
So, and that's what they drop inside of the intro is the world breaks away and you're floating in space because nothing but you and the observer of the time that is being edited, aka fucking Diavolo, are the ones that are relevant. So, like, you get to see visually things being fucked around with, you know? And it's a really nice way to do it. I like a lot how you can explain something that doesn't work. Like in a manga panel, you can go, that panel never happened. But when you're watching it, you're looking at it like, the world crumbled away. So clearly this
is important.
Is something, whatever's happening here.
We're having forward after images and all sorts of visual indicators. They're putting so much extra like work into showing a fairly confusing sequence of events.
And I think that the visual indicator of the world crumbling is really important because when Dio stops time, it becomes obvious the world just stops.
Yeah, there's a sepia tone.
And then it just resumes. Yeah. And he literally says it. But in this case, the fact that everything is gone is almost indicative of the fact that none of this exists anymore, right? I have now stopped this point in time and I'm going to rebuild it here. But all of this black is just not, it doesn't happen, you know?
Or does.
Depending on whether the action entering is whether the cause continues or whether the effect would have ended within the time frame.
I feel, so there's a bunch of stuff about part 5 that I don't like as much as earlier parts.
Oh yeah, it's still the weakest part in my opinion.
So. However.
But it's fantastic.
For what, none of those complaints are the word Rome. And anything that happens in the last 15% of the story.
I had to check the clock to see. I'm like, wait, how many episodes are left?
Not many.
Enough though.
Yeah,
but like doing the math, there's enough.
But like you're here, you're in Cairo, and Dio's out of the coffin.
The other thing I really like is that So when we got the Dio time stop in End of the World, and you get the footsteps, they turn around, they ora muda, and then the logo explodes. In this case, they put it in a better place. They put it right before the final chorus kicks in.
Nessuno può sfuggire dal destino scelto. Rimane solo il risultato che voi sarete distrutti. L'eterna cima esiste solo per me. Puoi cantare canzoni di tristezza nel mondo senza tempo.
You know, so that when he does the big talk and he does the Italian thing, and then time resumes, Giorno turns around and the fucking chorus kicks in, and the whole thing he's staring at in Epitaph is the moment that's about to occur. So it's like, the momentum
It
builds.
almost feels like in 2 or 3 episodes there will be another significant change to the moment you are describing right now.
Yeah, I would say that those last little panels, or the last little shots of Jojo, I feel like that is ample time to put more art,
More something.
inside that intro.
What?
Also, I really got to enjoy it was obvious when I saw it, and like I was kind of just laughing because when Steph first saw that intro, she's like, "Oh, it's called, what is it? Traitor's Requiem," and I'm like, "Oh, that name, right?"
Yeah,
because right, and all of these names are like, they're so on the money, but they make me smile when I hear them in advance. Because like the day one of part 3, I saw "Stand Proud" as the name of the title, and I'm like, you know, and that's exactly it. Like it all continues to be on the nose. But Traitor's Requiem in particular is really good.
There's 2 fun things that I want to talk about from the last 1 or 2. One is Paige was with me when I was watching it, and I'll just say somebody gets fucked up harder than almost anyone's ever gotten fucked up in JoJo in like a half second. And she asked, "Wait, how did..." I'm like, "Don't worry about it. He just got better." Like, the story does not give a shit about how that person got better. They just literally flash forward to, "So I'm fine." What?
Yeah, healing goes fast and loose when you're a part of the crew.
Right?
When you're part of the crew and it's before plot time.
And it's wild.
Like, honestly, if you're a part of a JoJo crew and a villain, a stand user of the week shows up, you're practically invincible.
Yeah.
Right? Did you lose?
So you're saying at this point in time that person was a stand user of the week?
I mean, it's just like, if chunks of meat fly off of your body, you'll be fine. Yeah. Don't worry about it.
So that's like wild to me. And then the other thing is that
getting shot with your own fucking bullets, no problem.
Yeah, whatever, I'll be fine. Even before healing happens, I'll be fine.
So used to it by now.
So I was thinking about it, like, part 1 ends depending on where you feel, like in the castle or on the boat, and there's some collateral damage there, but it's not like it's not the end of the world, right?
No.
Part 2 ends on a volcano or deserted Coliseum with just vampires. Part 3, there's collateral damage in Cairo for sure.
The threat of losing in part 2 is massive,
right?
But it's not actually
part
collateral.
4 takes place on like that street behind your house.
Yep.
You know, like 2 blocks over.
A couple of people in an unfortunate Google path get rocked.
Yeah.
In the middle of the chase.
The last batch of part 5 is disastrous.
Like, if you want to talk about like even in part 4, like that poor apartment that got entered.
Yeah, one apartment, right?
Big shame.
But like in part 5, the area in one of the most populated cities in the world, in the core of the downtown, is essentially wiped from existence. And disasterified twice.
Yes. And it's important to note that, like, you know, the reasons behind that are clearly why at some point you gotta go like, okay, time to unleash the Dio within.
Yeah.
And into the trash it goes. Because, yeah, like, that's how bad that got. And also, it was clear that it's like, yo, Chocolata doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't give a shit.
The first thing you ever hear about Chocolata ever is Chocolata might be the biggest piece of shit that ever existed.
They don't even know about the real shit he did before he showed up.
No, they just tell from just right now.
No one knows about the old people.
Nobody.
But, like...
The narrator knows.
Yeah, and that's about it, right? And here's the thing about Chocolata, and, like, I fucking guffawed when I was reading it. And it was really funny, too, when it happened in the show. But, like, it's a really great sudden thing is... Okay, so my stand works with altitude, right? What is the most dickish thing I can do ever?
Oh, he's chasing
a helicopter!
Oh,
no! Like, the most dickish thing you can do to not give a fuck is... Everybody gets some, you know. I'm up here, literally. Go fuck yourselves, and I'm getting higher.
I would love for somebody to
what a piece of
track
shit.
Down if there's any information about this. But when I look at Chocolata and I look at how bad he gets it and how overdone his villainy is, all I can think of is this was supposed to be Fugo. Is that Fugo was supposed to get the 7 pages because he's a bitch?
I don't think so at all.
It's the powers being so similar to me.
But it doesn't know. There's no indicator that they were meant to be anything. Like, it's not. And also, Seko being involved is the whole, like, oh, you're a pair, and you got the whole pair thing working together, but now you're, like, a creepy fucking, like, pet to this guy. And they go way over the top cartoonish villain styles.
Apparently, Fugo was apparently supposed to betray the squad.
Oh. Interesting.
So I just found that out now, but the reason why I thought that was because the power set is so similar with the mold and the fucking melting
poison
bullshit.
Yeah.
And all I can think of is that it was supposed to be that way, and then he was like, okay, still too bullshit to put in.
I would say that I'm not sure where Fugo's book goes too much outside of like some of the more absurd details.
It goes drugs.
He goes a lot of places, but whatchamacallit, Seko. The question and the weird part is that when it came down to animating it, it was really unclear what happened to him. Whereas in the pages of the manga, it was way more obvious.
Oh yeah,
right. So when Seko grabs Doppio.
Yeah.
And then we get our, like, you know, hero stabs through the
shit.
We go, Jotaro punches through the lady to get the murderer and puts a knife in his gut type of moment, right?
Josuke.
Excuse me, yes. Yeah. We then see Seko is kind of weird, like, and then, like, it's not clear what's kind of happening with his hand, and then he just kind of crawls into the dumpster.
Yeah.
Into the truck, rather. And it's like, I'm pretty sure two things. One, in the book, that's meant to be Bruno zipping his hand inside of his throat.
Okay.
And then reattaches it so that he can't fucking really breathe.
Okay.
And then with his new zipped hand throat, he kind of into the street, and then that's that, you know? And, like, it's a pretty clear cut, like, oh, he's done.
Yeah.
But in this case, the way it ended, and especially with him driving off and talking, I kind of felt like, is he alive?
Well, no, because they're being crushed into paste in a garbage truck.
Yeah, but he's talking as it's happening.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit unclear. I don't know. I guess I just remembered it. I remembered reading it in a much more clear. Yeah, that's that.
Yeah.
You know, and then in the anime, it seemed like, did they just choose to handle it differently? I don't know.
Oh, the other thing is that the last batch that we're dealing with has. Okay, guys, it's the final battle. Stuff's going bad. People are getting fucking killed. We barely made it here. Time for 14 minutes of slapstick.
何よこの顔この体臭い私すごく脇が臭いわやっぱり臭いわなんでよどうして私がミスタなのよ指でどこ触ってんのよ絶対お前を呪い殺してやるうわならんちゃん
Yes.
Just straight up. There's a corpse up there. Fuck it. Slapstick. Ah!
Freaky.
Oh my God.
Freaky Friday.
Wow.
Your name.
Wowie sowie.
In the middle of my JoJo.
Where are my testicles?
Yeah. The thing I actually like, so I've been looking forward to 2 things for part 5 the entire time, right? 3. I've been looking forward to White Album Gently Weeps.
まさかこの音は俺の呼吸の穴を見つけ狙ったってわけか。ミステーだが頂点は全てを止める。動く気体は流れる液体となり、液体は止まって固体となる。よく見ろよ、止まった空気が見えないか。弾丸だミスター。それは空中で弾丸が跳ね返ってる音だ。何？ホワイトアルバム Gently Whips! It's up!
I was not disappointed. Mm-hmm. That was done great. I've been looking forward to the Punch Fest.
Yeah.
That was great. 30 seconds, almost not enough time.
Yeah.
Right? Also, not enough emphasis on the uri.
Yeah.
Because it got lost in the middle of the auras.
Yeah.
Or the mudas. And, like, people I was watching with didn't even catch it. You know?
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I had to go, wait, hold on. Do you recognize, do you know what this is over here? Because, it should have been much more of a, like thing.
Yeah.
We want the Capcom version of it, where he shakes and vibrates as he does it. But it was great. Yeah, it was so, yes, how did she not catch it? It was super obvious. Sometimes memory can be fleeting.
Yeah.
It's, what can I say? But, the other thing I wanted to see, and I wanted it done so expensive, is that fucking Requiem walk needs to be like 60 frames per second.
It's...
Nani? Kisama, nani mono da? Itsu kara soko ni iru? Mate! Dare da omae wa? Kore wa nanda? Dou shita no da? なぜ俺は矢を手から落としてしまったんだ。
It's so
As Silver
animated.
challenged it, fucking rocks and struts. Because the way the gesture is drawn in the book, it's a strut.
Yeah.
He's not just walking, he's strutting.
There's a real win on the animation front on Requiem because it has more frames of animation in its natural... it's either deadly still, doesn't move at all, or is having too many frames of animation as people around it are not animating as fast.
Yeah.
And it has a weird refractory thing, which is probably a lot easier to do in a photo program than it is to do on paper. And it looks like it's not supposed to be part of the same show.
It does. And I really was hoping we would see a weird effect in terms of like he's walking, but the perspective he's walking on doesn't match up with the environment, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really wanted it because like it's so menacing the way it's drawn. I like literally menacing the way it's drawn, because you're just like this fucking terrifying thing. You know, like there's the memes coming out, like everybody talks shit till the Requiem starts walking, you know, like, and they did a good job with it. It is proper intimidating, and you don't know what the fuck is happening.
So this last couple episodes, and I was talking with some people, and I got to that fun conversation, which is, hey, remember when Araki forgot about that shit?
Yep.
And part 5 has it, I think, the worst.
No.
Oh yeah. Well, who has it worse?
Part 6.
Well, I wouldn't know then. The worst of what I've seen so far.
Yep.
But, like, the one that keeps coming up is, hey, where did Giorno's perception distorting and damage reflection abilities go?
Yeah.
Where did they go?
Never uses them again.
Like the beginning of his kit,
Yeah.
just disappears immediately as soon as he gets the healing bullshit.
Well, it's Araki creates loose sentences as stand definitions, and gets to refer back to them whenever he goes, I forgot, what does this do again?
Yeah.
And he reads the sentence and goes, I guess this could mean that. And then he'll do it. But no, Araki, and it does definitely, we do have in interviews where he's like, yeah, I don't read my old shit.
So I went back and found like a big ass list, and out of all of them, there's one that is just my absolute big favorite. I couldn't believe it, which is, hey, do you remember that flashback in part 4 where Josuke talks about how this man with a pompadour saved him?
Yep, the sickest part.
And how it suspiciously looks identical to him.
Did he go back in time and save himself?
Then we have a whole stand that has the ability to do that.
Yep.
And how it was clearly setting up.
Yep.
When asked what was up with that at an interview, Araki went, oh yeah, that did happen. And that was his answer.
Yep.
So he, like, 100% forgot that thread.
Completely slipped his mind.
Whoops.
The genius is a genius of the moment.
Oh my god.
And only of the moment.
It's astonishing.
That's how it rolls. That's how it goes.
And
yeah.
So every time...
It's almost amazing that part 3 had Dio at all.
Part 3 having Dio is like, obviously you need Dio. He's the best. But like how we got there is just like, oh yeah, they did totally do that coffin.
That retcon was...
It's so...
Thing of beauty.
To people who are not familiar with what we're talking about,
it's a thing of beauty.
I want to make it really clear that this is the worst retcon ever, because the retcon doesn't work. It doesn't work. In part 1, Erina and the baby
Lisa
escape in Dio's very sturdy coffin. They escape the explosion in his coffin and float away to be discovered by a passing ship. In part 3, it explains that after the fight with Jonathan, Dio managed to get his body and crawl into his coffin, which then sank to the bottom of the ocean, only to be retrieved by some fishermans. And
see, you're acting like there wasn't an inner coffin.
I hate it. Shut up.
There was an inner coffin and an outer coffin.
The coffin that floated was thrown back into the water empty and then sank.
The outer coffin was used as a flotation device to save our heroes, while the inner coffin, marked with the name Dio, sunk to the bottom of the ocean.
It's so bad.
Inner coffin,
so bad.
Outer coffin.
It's
inner coffin, outer coffin, right? We use the outer one because it's bigger, and the inner one sinks. It's so simple.
I think when he got confronted on that, he's like, yeah, I didn't care. I wanted to bring Dio back.
It's a Matryoshka doll. I don't understand what the problem is.
I hate it.
Anyway, the worst...
Oh, worse than that.
Well, again, like I said, it's literally, in part 6, he names a stand that has been named already.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. Yeah, I remember that.
He just uses the same name twice.
And then he changed it to
Planet Waves.
A Bob Dylan song, I think?
Planet Waves. Okay. Because, like, someone along the way went, dude,
you did that one.
And, like, that's not even a, oh, yeah, we can hand wave. It's like, no, that's literally a name that's already taken, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Shit.